स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी भाषादेशपालिने जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So this now analysis is starting. Basically, first 6 chapters, Prabhupada explains the living entity is explained, the jiva. Second chapter, Krishna spends a lot of time explaining the position of the jiva, the living entity, and then how it can somehow connect himself to the Supreme Lord. Those chapters go on. And then from the 7th chapter to the 12th chapter, there is discussion about the devotion service, the devotional relationship, the sweet loving relation between the living entity and the Lord, and how he approaches the Lord in different ways, when he is inquisitive, or he is in knowledge, or he is in distress condition, or different ways why he approaches the Lord. These are all over there. Now in the 13th chapter now, again, why we are entrapped in this body, how we have come to this condition, what is the whole cosmic situation, it explains. So this is 13 to 18 more, I say these are all Jnana chapters, chapters of analysis. 6 to 12 is the chapters of devotion to the Lord, and 7 to 12, and 1 to 6 is explaining activities and also duties in this world. Karma Yoga first 6, Bhakti Yoga 7 to 12, and Jnana Yoga 13 to 18. Primary thing Krishna teaches is devotion to Him. Therefore that's the middle portion. And rest two are like covers. Book has covers, covers are also important. So anyway, now some again analysis starts, and now Arjuna asks different questions to Krishna. He asks 6 questions. What is Prakriti? Nature. And Purusha, the enjoyer. In fact, Krishna doesn't answer this question first. He chooses Arjuna to answer. And then he says, the third one, what is the field? Kshetra. And Kshetragna, the knower of the field. 4. And then he says, what is knowledge and end of knowledge? Jnana, Gheya, Gyata. There are 3 things in knowledge. Suppose this laptop is saying, I am the knower. This is the object of knowledge. And then the knowledge about God. So, Gyata, Jnana, Gheya. 3. We can divide knowledge like this. Goes on. These chapters, 13 chapters is like that, analysis chapter. And Krishna chooses to answer the 3rd and 4th question first. What is the field and what is the knower of the field? And generally what people do is that they mix these 2 things together. Just like I was telling in consciousness, they mix the body, including the brain, the mind, intelligence, soul, everything they lump it together. That's a mistake. And similarly, in trying to understand us, people merge these 2 things together. They think the body, correct? Rather all these things, they merge it together. Now we are trying to segregate it all. It is different, it is not one. So now, the body is different. In fact, including the mind, intelligence, everything is matter. And the knower is different. Just like I give this example so many times. I am seeing this mic. But actually, this mic is not going inside my eyes. What I am seeing is a light patch created on my retina. I am not seeing. Okay. Many times I have done that. But actually, I am not seeing that also. I am having some experience of neurons are firing in the brain. Actually, even that one I have not seen. Even it goes from the body level to the subtle level, which I am not aware. Just like when you eat food, you are not aware how you are digesting. So when you are having an experience, actually you are not aware what is happening. At the end, you are the experiencer, but in between there is mind and intelligence also important, because it goes through the subtle body. It's so detailed. I am hardly aware what's going on. People are breaking their head. Actually, there was a time they thought the whole cosmos is so Newton's time, or like space is something static. Einstein came and said this nonsense. Space, time can be curved also. That's why he defined gravity. Otherwise, gravity doesn't have a definition. No explanation. Newtonian mechanics, there is no definition of gravity. We do not know why two objects are attracting each other. There is an explanation. There is no graviton or anything. Nothing. So Einstein, at least in his space-time, he says, no, the mass will curve the space-time. Space-time can be curved also. And then when they go to quantum, another riddle. The space-time is full of. There is nothing empty. Is what they thought is empty, they are understood it is wrong. The same way we have understood is that I am having an experience, correct? I am seeing a mic, but I don't know what all is going in between. But let us understand some simple things. Yeah, Prabhupada is giving. Now I say, I am not saying this cushion is me. Why? I somehow make a difference between my body and the cushion. Why? The reason is, if you touch the cushion, I don't become conscious. My consciousness does not travel to the cushion. My consciousness is only within my body. Therefore, I say this is within my body. Yeah. But when I wear a shirt, but I see that I can change the shirt also. Even though I change the shirt, I remain the same. So similarly, correct? I understand I am not the shirt because I am changing the shirt, but I still remain the same person. Similarly, my body has been changing. When I was a child, my body was like that, small. Today, my body has grown up so much. Even though the body has grown up so much, I am the same person. What has maintained the continuity? So Prabhupada is saying, you contemplate. Contemplate. I many times give this example when Srila Prabhupada was once asked, how do you say we are not the body? Prabhupada said, because Krishna says so. Prabhupada is showing what is the process of learning in this speak. Vedic field, the process of learning is to hear from the authority. We don't change. It's like yesterday I was joking. Jarasandha came 16 times to fight with Krishna. Every time with a new army. Correct? And every time Krishna defeated him. 17th time Krishna chose not to fight actually. He wanted to help Rukmani. He went to get Rukmani. And he thought Krishna is defeated. So similarly, what happens actually is that we may ignore the scientists sometimes. They may feel we are defeated now. We have better things to do. Just like Krishna had at that time better thing to do. Save his own devotee. But every time our position does not change. We don't change our position. Our position remains science. Our position remains same. The science keeps changing the position. They are the Newtonian mechanics dumped now. Then they have relativity in confusion now. Quantum again in confusion now. Their position every day changes. In fact, I was today seeing some of their interesting, the top scientists are becoming poetic and speaking what to do now. In a very funny way. Because intuitively the world, it's not that. But they understand that. At least they understand. So in the same way, now let us, our process is not in the same way. We don't do ascending. And then we get confused. None of us know what's the position. But in the Vedic line, our position is always based on descending. Nobody is forcing you to accept. But that's the way it is. You can't argue. You can try to understand, but you can take it or reject it. That's you can't argue. Why Krishna says like that? No sir, you can't do it. That's called descending knowledge. You may not understand. Sometimes some things we hear in a descending knowledge. In the schools, colleges also, to a certain extent, they follow that, but it's not so much of devotion to the teacher, because what the teacher says tomorrow you can yourself refute. It has happened in the history. Big Nobel laureate, their students had defeated them later. That's what happened when the quantum came. All the big scientists, including Einstein, were against it. Finally, all of them were kicked out. Everybody was kicked out. They were proved to be wrong. The senior and the junior. Junior all agreed, led by Bohr, that quantum is probabilistic. Einstein says God does not play dice. Bohr replied, you don't have to tell God what to do. Just imagine. And they were the younger and they were the senior. So in modern science, what happens actually, even though we have a descending form of knowledge, but the knowledge can change to God. But here it is same. You see the Prabhupada. So Prabhupada asked, how do you say we're not body or spirit? So Prabhupada said, Krishna said so. Actually, that is how it is. This is how this knowledge is learned. So Swamiji, do we have a scientific answer? Prabhupada says, Krishna does not make mistake. Swamiji, I want to know, do we have, because he doesn't, the fallacy, mistake of the person is that he is asking Prabhupada to change to ascending. He will never do that. He remains, because that's the way this knowledge is learned. Kept asking. Then 8th or 9th trial, then Prabhupada said, okay, you can understand this shloka. Okay, there is one ascending way. They know Svinyatamde. Our body is changing from childhood to youth to old age, the same way, but we remain the same person. Okay, so we can very easy to understand. The shirt I can throw. At the same time I remain the same person. Okay? The body is changing, but I remain the same person. Now you can see subtler. Prabhupada said something we did not. Mind also changes. Sometimes it is happy, sometimes it is angry, sometimes it is frustrated, sometimes it is satisfied, sometimes it is mad. Correct? Just like a change of body is there, but you remain the same person, so you can understand you are not the body. You can understand? Correct? Chikka sharira ide. Amale eshtu dodda agide. Eshtu dodda change agidare, still the same of it. Correct? We remember when we were a child, we were doing so many activities, we still remember. Correct? But at the same time, now she is speaking it because I spoke in Kannada, but I don't know more Kannada.
Nane Prabhu is
Even to hear that. This point you can understand. Change of body. You explain many times, but this has to be explained many times. So body is changing, but you remain the same person. There is no change. No, but the same individual, identity is changing. No, I was a student. I am from Ramakrishna College. I was studying in college, I was studying in Nitte College. My identity is changing, but I remain the same person. Okay? There is no change in that. So, what is maintaining the continuity? There is no answer for that. Only one answer. That's so. Now, somebody may say that I am not the body, I am the mind, then, which maintaining the continuity. Correct? Somebody may come to this truth that I am the mind, which is something different from the body. Therefore, they have this concept in the Western philosophy of astral body, this astral, something different, subtle, some subtle energy. But actually, even the mind is changing. Sometimes, I know yesterday I was very angry, I'm very sorry, my mood was not good yesterday, I was angry. No, it's okay. But even the mind is changing the states, but I am remaining the same person. So I am experiencing not only the body, the changes of the body, but I remain the same person. I am experiencing the changes of the mind also, but still I remain the same person. I am neither the body, I am neither the mind. So it requires a lot of contemplation. So two things go together. For one side, you practice Krishna consciousness. We chant the names of the Lord, we read Bhagavatam, we read Bhagavad Gita, we serve the Lord. This will give you realization. But at the same time, we should know this is a blueprint. And you see, so two things, just like somebody tells you, here you see, that direction you see, there is a mandap of that way. You look there, mandap is there. That's very nice. So similarly, it tells you, you're not the body, you're not the mind, you are the spirit soul. But when you practice Krishna consciousness, then it becomes revealed. Otherwise, it remains a theory. You remain on a mental platform. It's of no use. It is of no use. So therefore, two things should go parallelly. One side, we practice Krishna consciousness. Other side, we also know, just like you're traveling in a train. You're traveling to Delhi. Okay. On the way, one by one, you see Bombay barta hai, Nasik barta hai, as to Jaga barta hai. So if you know, it is so nice that you are convinced, moment to moment, yes, I am moving in the right way. Correct? I'm going to reach Delhi very soon. You know the map, you know everything. So similarly in Krishna consciousness also, all the landmarks are given. So that is one side where you study all these things, we understand. Prabhupada was once giving a class in college. He said, please accept the process of Krishna consciousness, chanting of Hare Krishna mantra. Accept this process. And as you accept this process, the first installment of mercy you will get is you will understand you are not the body. That is the first mercy. That's a gift by the Lord. You'll be able to realize that. Yes, it is so true. I am not this body. And it is not something by academic jnana you can get. That will not help you actually. That is not possible. But some people try that, but it is a waste of time. But therefore, there was one more chapter we had, it was 13 or the 12th chapter, where Arjuna directly asked Krishna this question. Krishna, there are some people who keep meditating on the impersonal, unmanifested feature of you. And some people directly engage in a devotion service. Which is better? Krishna says the second is better. Who engage directly in devotion service. In fact, all the conclusions of the scriptures are revealing when without hesitation we come forward to serve the Lord. Then the conclusions will be revealed. If we hesitate to serve the Lord, accept it. Then it will remain abstract. There are no realizations. So this is very easy. Prabhupada is saying it's not difficult to understand that I am not the body, I am the observer of the body. Now in next shloka, Krishna throws the bomb. He is going to tell something else. Yesterday we were there, 13th chapter. Kshetragnam chapi maam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharata kshetra kshetra gayo jnanam yattat jnanam matam mama kshetragnam the knower cha also api certainly ma me vidhi no sarva all kshetreshu in bodily people bharata O son of Bharata kshetra field of activity the body kshetragnayo the knower of the field jnanam knowledge yes that which is taught that jnanam knowledge matam opinion mama that. O son of Bharata, you should know that I am also the knower in all bodies, and to understand this body and its owner is called knowledge. That is my opinion. O son of Bharata, you should know, you should understand that I am also the knower in all bodies. And to understand this body and its owner is called knowledge. That is my opinion. While discussing the subject of this body and the owner of the body, the soul and the super soul, we should find three different topics to study: the Lord, the living entity, and matter. In every field of activity, in every body, there are two souls: the individual soul and the super soul. Because the super soul is the plenary expansion, supreme personality of Lord Krishna, Krishna says, I am also the knower, but I am not the individual owner of the body. I am the super knower. I am present in every body as Paramatma or super soul. One who studied the subject matter of the field of activity, the knower of the field very minutely in terms of the Bhagavad Gita, can attain to knowledge. The Lord says, I am the knower of the field of activity in every individual body. The individual may be the knower of his own body, but is not in knowledge of other bodies. The Supreme Personality Godhead, who is present as the Super Soul in all bodies, knows everything about all bodies. He knows all the different bodies of all the various species of life. A citizen may know everything about his patch of time, but the king knows not only about his palace, but about all the properties possessed by the individual citizens. Similarly, one who is the proprietor of his body individually, but the Supreme Lord is the proprietor of all bodies. The king is the original proprietor of the kingdom, and the citizen is the secondary proprietor. Similarly, the Supreme Lord is the supreme proprietor of all bodies. The body consists of the senses of the Supreme Lord and the Rishikesha, which means he is controller of the senses. He is the original controller of the senses, just like a king is the original controller of all the activities of the state. And citizens are the secondary controller. The Lord also says, I am also the knower. This means that he is the super knower. Individual souls know only his particular body. In the Vedic literature it is stated as follows. Kshetrani sharirani bijam chapi subhashave tani
Kshetrani sharirani bijam chapi subhashave
tani vedi cha yogatma tata kshetragna uchyate.
Tani vedi cha yogatma tata kshetragna uchyate.
The body is called the Kshetra, within it dwells the owner of the body and the Supreme Lord who knows both the body and the owner of the body. Therefore, he is called the knower of all the fields. The distinction between the field of the activity, the owner of the field of activity, the supreme owner of the activity is described as follows. Perfect knowledge of the constitution of the body. Perfect knowledge of the constitution of the body, the constitution of the individual soul and constitution of the super soul is known in terms of the Vedic literature as Dhyanam. This is the opinion of Krishna. To understand both the soul and the super soul as one yet distinct is knowledge. One who does not understand that the field of activity, knower of the activity is not in perfect knowledge. One has to understand the position of Prakriti nature, the Purusha, the enjoyer of the nature, and Ishvara, knower dominates or controls over the nature and the individual soul. One should not confuse the three in their different capacities. One should not confuse the painter, the painting and the easel. This middle word, which is the field of activities, is nature, and the enjoyer of the nature is the living entity. And above them both, the supreme controller, the personality of God. It is said in the Vedic knowledge, Bhokta Bhogyan Paritaram Cha Matva Sarvam Proktam Trividam Brahmam Eta. There are three Brahman concessions. Prakriti is Brahman as the field of activities. The Jiva individual soul is also called Brahman. It's trying to control material nature, and the controller of both is also called Brahman, but he is the factual controller. In this chapter, it will also be explained that out of the two knowers, one is fallible and other is infallible. One is superior, other is subordinate. One who understands the two knowers of the field to be one and the same contradicts the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who states it very clearly, I am also the knower of the field of activity. One who misunderstands the rope to be a serpent is not in knowledge. There are different kinds of bodies and there are different owners of the body, because each individual soul has its individual capacity of lording into a material nature. There are different bodies, but the Supreme also is present in them as a controller. The word Cha is significant, for it indicates the total number of bodies. That is the opinion of Srila Baladev Vidyabhushan. Krishna is the super soul present in each and every body apart from the individual soul. And Krishna explicitly says here, super soul is the controller of both the field of activities and the finite nature. So now there are some confusion created by half-read people, and they are 99% people today. Therefore you see every purport, every opportunity we say, please discriminate, soul and God are not same. But if you go to any one of the so-called missions, they tell you it is same. And here the shloka, by one character, the difference is there. Because Krishna said in the previous shloka, there is Kshetra and Kshetragna. Correct? The body is the Kshetra and the knower of the body, the soul, is Kshetragna. Now Krishna is saying here, what he is saying? Kshetragna Cha. I am also the knower. Where I am also the knower? Sarva Kshetreshu Bharata, in all the bodies. So, I don't know what they do. How do they explain this? So obvious. Kshetragna Cha. Cha means also. I am also the knower. Krishna is saying, okay, just like you are driving a car, you are knowing the car and all the things you are driving all around you. You are aware what this vehicle is doing. But Krishna is saying, I am also sitting in the car. And not only in your car, I am sitting in everybody's car. Sarva Kshetreshu Bharata. Prabhupada gives an this is inconceivable actually. I am present here, I cannot be present here. I can't be present everywhere. But Krishna is different. That is where they make mistake. What they try to do actually, they try to pull in material conception. Try to understand spiritual platform. Just like in people, they're trying to understand quantum, they carry their nonsense classical ideas there. And they make a mess out of it. And every field has to be properly studied. Similarly, when you're trying to understand spirituality, don't carry material ideas there. It's another field of knowledge. Why you carry some ideas from here? Can't do that. They carry them, therefore they make a mess. Because they can't understand how something can be present in many places together. Krishna can be present. Just like a sun. Now these examples can symbolically help us to understand. But still, Krishna's position is inconceivable. Now we are standing in the sun. Somebody asks you, where is the sun? Say above. Now you go to Bangalore, ask somebody, where is the sun? You say above. But there is one sun. Everybody seems to feel that he is present. Just like in this room now, you open the curtains in the daytime. Every house sunlight is there. There is some light inside also, but sunlight is there. Every house, correct? If this house breaks, then this light is affected, but sunlight is not affected. So similarly, when a body breaks down, I may be affected. And I have to go and take another body now. But Lord is not. So these are some symbolism which can help us understand little, but Krishna's position is very glorious. He's aware of everything. He's present inside even every atom. How does he do that? Inconceivable. But he's aware of everything that is happening everywhere. I am eating food, I don't even know how do I digest that. But Krishna knows that also. I am aware of small situation, my own body, but I am not even aware of that thing properly. Krishna is aware of even that thing properly. I am using this body, I don't even know how this body is built. It is so beautiful body in the sense that wonderful things it does. But I don't know how it is built. Krishna knows that also. Everything he knows. So I know a tiny space, that also I don't know properly. Krishna doesn't know tiny space, he knows everything, that also properly. So he can't just compare. So Krishna says that Kshetragnam Cha, also the knower. Now there are three things then. There is matter, there is soul, and there is God. And what we do today, we merge all the three things together, we make it one. That's what present day understanding is. No sir, you have to go long way forward. Long way forward. It's very immature. You separate Kshetra, Kshetragna. Now Krishna is saying, wait a minute, that's the model doesn't complete there. There is the Lord who is the knower of both the soul and he is knower of the body. He is knower of both and also the controller of both of them. This is inconceivable, but this is how things are situated. And the whole situation previously was explained in summary, now in this chapter, and from here how the whole situation we are situated, and then next will explain. Next chapter will explain about how the three modes are influencing us, how the illusory energy is making us identify with this world, and how we are coming to the illusion in different forms, sattva, rajas, tamas. It goes on, the analysis goes on. And the next chapter explains after that this world compared to an inverted tree. Inverted tree in the sense that it is a reflection. Recently scientists also in their study, now they are getting a shock. They were studying black hole. And they studied that as the things go inside the black hole, even though it's three-dimensional object, on the surface of it, in two dimensions, the whole information still lies. I don't know how did they come to the conclusion, they came to the conclusion. And now they are saying, not only black hole there, this whole world is just a hologram actually. Something. They are spinning and spinning now. Actually, science is going to drastically change. In the next, say, 20-30 years, whole concepts of science will change. Just like Einstein did. There's waiting for a huge transformation again. We hope it comes to, our position doesn't change. We will keep saying the same thing and they will say, what they're saying is correct. But anyway, the point is that 15th chapter says something interesting. It says that just like when you see a tree on the bank of the river, inverted tree, this world is like that. This world is an inverted tree. But when it is an inverted tree, that means somewhere the reality has to exist. Got it? Inverted tree doesn't exist. Inverted tree is only in one place, where? Banks of the river. But you see the banks of the river, inverted tree, it gives so much meaning now about this world. The meaning is, number one, there is no reality in the reflection, but there is reality somewhere. In this world, I see form which is continuously changing, so it's not in that sense real. Real means to stay, it's changing, but there should is, and I don't like this change. I like to be permanently in the youthful body. I don't like the change which is happening. That means somewhere that is there. I don't like to die, because the survival of the fittest, I created a theory. But the question is, why we like to survive? That's a question, no? Why every living entity, insects, struggles to survive? Why? That's a separate issue, whether the theory is right or not, but the propensity to survive is there. Why? Because actually Atma is eternal, doesn't like that. Why doesn't we die? All the living entities, why do they want to struggle? Because it's unnatural for them. And then we have so much tendency for knowledge. Every living entity has that. You lock up something, every living entity like to see what is inside. Curiosity. Why? Because we have knowledge. That is the nature of the soul. That is the nature of the spiritual world, the real world. It's full of knowledge, it is full of happiness, and it is full of eternity. Sat means eternity, Chit means knowledge, Ananda means bliss, Satchidananda. That's the nature of the spiritual world. And this word is Asat, the reflection. Reflection means it doesn't have the properties of the. You see a fruit in the reflection, there is no taste in it. But it gives an idea of that. That means somewhere that fruit is there. Why seeing the reflection I am salivating? That means I have seen real fruits. Somewhere it has to be there. Eternity, full of knowledge and full of bliss. And that is what we are hankering for. So we can get idea like this, but when you practice Krishna consciousness, even though you are there in this world, you start experiencing that world. That is the beauty of Krishna consciousness. Correct? Even though you are in the material world, which should be pale, where only anticipation is there, no reality. When you see a reflection of a mango, you jump in the water. That anticipation is same, like there you go. But you reach, you see you got only a shadow. There you get real mango. So, that is the beauty of Krishna consciousness. Even though we practice that in the material world, we somehow start touching the real tree of the spiritual world. Somehow it's becoming excess. And then when you advance, you become Jivan Mukta. Even though physically you are there in this world, actually you enter the spiritual world. The reality is there. So now Krishna has revealed this thing, and this should be very clear. That there is a difference between we and the Lord. And one difference he explained here was, I am present in all the bodies and you are present only in your body. Correct? I am conscious of this body. I am conscious of all the gymnastics of my mind also. And I know I am not neither this body, neither the mind. But the Lord is conscious of all the bodies at the same time. That's the beauty of the Lord. Srila Prabhupada ki, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki.